Hello everyone, today I'm going to be explaining how to do a scene using the terrain from Unity. So we're going to do something like this model we have here. We're going to have different textures and assets that I got from the Unity Asset Store, and it's all free. So great, let's start. So to do a terrain, you just right click on the hierarchy, 3D object, terrain, and it will be created. Now you can change the name as whatever you want. And we're going to go to the inspector, to the component of terrain, and change the settings. Now here you can change many things, but especially you can change the width and the length. This is great to do it at the start, because if you do it later, it could not scale correctly. So now let's lower and raise our terrain. How do you do this? We go to the part of lowering and raising. Great. And we just select our brush, and there are different kind of brushes, and it will do different kind of textures to it. We can change the brush size and the opacity. This means how much it will raise and how much it will lower. And well, just by clicking on the terrain, it will rise. Great, so if you want to lower it, you just click Shift and left click again, and it will lower. Now, to add a texture to it, what we're going to do is go to the asset store. I'm going to leave the link in the description and add this texture to your assets. So we go to Window, Package Manager, and go to My Assets and search for it and download it and then import it. Right here, I'm just going to deselect the demo and documentation because I'm not going to use, and the resolutions that are 1K, 2K, and 520, I'm just going to keep the 4K. So well, I'm going to organize this a little bit so the textures are in my texture folder, and well, I'm just going to move here we have the textures, and I'm going to just drag and drop to my texture folder. Great, now we go to our terrain component again and change to paint texture. Here we're going to create a layer, and just we click the texture that we want the majority of our terrain to have. Now, for example, I want to make the mountains at the top of them have another texture, a little bit brownish, a little bit like a rock. We just create a new layer and start painting. Now, if you want to change from what texture you want to be using to be painting, you just select the layer you want, and you can create the layer, all the layers you want. Now, if you want to change the tiling of your textures, just go to your project and click on the layer, and there you will find the tiling settings. Just change the size and changes of whatever you think it will fit most to your scene. So well, now I finished with the terrain. I'm going to start with the assets, and I'm going to add the fence. So I'm going to leave the link of this pack in the description, and we're going to add it to my assets. We go to Window, Package Manager, and download and import our package. I'm just taking the scenes out and importing it. Now, if you're in a URP project, as I am, and the assets were made in the standard one, then many times the materials will appear in this violet thing. So what we're going to do is create a new material and add the original textures, and that's it. And just drag them to our prefabs. added some trees and water to the scene. I will be leaving all the links in the description. That's all for today. Subscribe.